Welcome to Money Chat Now. I am your host, Larry Steinhouse, and we are brought to you by Investor Schooling. You can take a complimentary class this Thursday. Go to investorschooling.com and just sign up for your complimentary class. Today we're going to be discussing some really neat stuff, because it's always neat stuff when you pay attention to Money Chat Now, right? Here we go. We're going to be talking about the fact that the NASDAQ just almost hit a record today. The pandemic is still causing havoc. We have some J&J in the news. Gold prices are crashing. And we also have some stocks that made some big moves today. We're going to talk about the Bitcoin rally. And of course, we're going to talk about some of my favorite picks. So the NASDAQ almost hit a record today, but it did close 6 days straight in a row of being up, which is pretty impressive. And it just missed the record by like that much, which is pretty awesome. But if you remember, the S&P and both the Dow hit records on Friday. So this market is just going and going and going. So you guys are going to ask me the most obvious question is, when do I think the market's going to end? It's not. The market is just going to keep going up forever. In fact, when I'm 107, the market's going to be 200,000. Actually, that's even possible, but I'm teasing a little bit. So the market's going up and going up and going up because good things are still happening. The economy is still good. There's still a lot of places that need people to work, which means that jobs are still available. It means that great things are happening. However, we have the problem, which is the next thing we want to talk about, which is the pandemic, and it's still causing havoc. I'm going to tell you that I really believe that the biggest problem we're having is government overreach and not necessarily the pandemic. But either way, it's the reaction of companies to the pandemic and or government overreach that are causing the problems. Look, more than a dozen U.S. companies, including Walmart, Google, Tyson Foods, and United Airlines, have recently announced vaccine mandates for some or all of their employees. And we talked about this last week. We talked about the fact that, hey, they're going to be mandating this. I also mentioned that they're going to be mandating it, but they're not going to make it official mandate until either it was like October 15th or until the FDA approves the vaccines. So they're basically kind of hedging their bet by going out in the public and saying, yes, we're gonna make vaccines mandatory, but it gives them some time to change their mind. And I don't know if they're going to or not, but it's still gonna be a problem. Right now, the Pentagon is to require all service members to get COVID vaccine by mid-September. And yeah, they're gonna have to do it because the service people are very simple. The service members are owned by the government and they have no choice. They're gonna have to do that. The U.S. reported a 7-day average of more than 108,000 new cases per day, up 36% from a week earlier, according to data from Johns Hopkins University. Now look, COVID is the Delta variant is a very fast-moving variant. So these numbers have to come down. If they moved up that fast, they're going to go down very fast, very soon. My only question is whether the news is going to report that they went down in time for people to get their head back straight. COVID is weighing heavily on the financial markets, said Jim Paulson, chief investment strategist at the Luthen Group. The surge in cases continues to pressure the cyclical parts of the stock market, most including cyclical sectors like energy and industrials and small caps, and of course, the travel industry. Here's something else that's interesting too. Shoppers are growing more anxious to visit stores, while some are cutting back spending, according to a new survey from First Insight. So we have, for example, we have school coming up, and hopefully your kids won't have to wear a mask, and I'm sorry if they do. But we have school coming up, so we have school supplies coming up. So stores like Staples do very, very well right now. Stores like JCPenney's and Macy's do very well because of shopping for clothes. But what's really happening now is there's supply chain issues once again. If you remember a couple of months ago, we had the problem where raw materials like wood was having supply chain issues. It looks like that may happen again, and that may slow down the back-to-school shopping season. Take a look, see what it is. See if you can't find stuff, if you can't find the things you need for your kids. That means that some of these stores were hit by the pandemic, and it might be a short-selling opportunity. Oil prices dropped on Monday, and they were building on last week's losses as rising COVID case caused concern of slowdown in demand. Once again, we've got oil slowing down because people think that, hey, they're not going to go to work again, they're not going to travel again, and I personally believe that a lot of people are fed up with this, and they're going to do their own thing anyway. I'm really curious to see what's going to happen if the mask mandate is turned back on, and see if we really get people, adhering to mask mandates or vaccine mandates. I'm just curious. I don't really know what's going to happen. I have an opinion, and my opinion is, yes, we're all sheep, and we're going to do it anyway. But there is some good news, though, and some good news basically says that, again, and I said this before, if the Delta variant is moving quickly, once it peaks, there could be a really broad rally. As a matter of fact, strategist Tom Lee told CNBC on Monday that he believes there could be a broad rally on Wall Street once the U.S. coronavirus case surges driven by the Delta variant crests and offers investors clarity on the trajectory of the pandemic recovery. So again, I keep telling you guys that I'm a big fan of holding on to or buying right now, buying options into January, February, or even just buying the stock of AAL, RCL, CCL, possibly Norwegian. I'm not sure if they just shot themselves in the foot with what they did in Florida. So for those of you who don't know what they did in Florida, what they basically did was they went to court and they challenged Ron DeSantis' decision that they can't ask for vaccine passports. Now, vaccine passports and what Norwegian is asking for, to me, are really two separate things. Norwegian is saying, look, we don't want you on our ship if you're not vaccinated. I don't really have a problem with them saying that. They're a private company, let them do whatever they want. But here's the thing, they're going to get less customers because there's a lot of people that don't have vaccines, and they're not going to want to be on there, or maybe they don't want to talk about it. But I also agree with Ron DeSantis saying that there shouldn't be such thing as a COVID passport to be able to walk into stores like they're doing now in New York. De Blasio and the pervert governor over there, they've been talking about having vaccine passports in New York City, which is ridiculous. I mean, you can't go into a restaurant unless you've been vaccinated. That's absolutely ridiculous, and that's what Ron DeSantis is trying to avoid. However, Norwegian is trying to avoid being sued or closed down. It's a little bit different. I think they have the right to ask for the vaccine passport or the vaccine proof, but I don't know how far they can go with that proof. All right, let's talk a little bit about J&J and their vaccine. So basically, CVS Health has stopped offering J&J single-dose COVID vaccine in its pharmacies, now making the shots only available in 10% of its retail locations, the company told CNBC. Now, here's something really weird about that, right? I know what's going on. I mean, look, I've been in business long enough to know that what's basically happening is 2 shots is 2 visits into CVS. 1 shot is 1 visit into CVS. So if I go into CVS 1 time, I only pick up my impulse items 1 time. If I go into CVS 2 times with the Moderna or the Pfizer shot, I get to go to CVS and pick up impulse items twice. CVS is brilliant by doing this. It's not fair. It's not right. It's not right for their customers, but they don't care about their customers. They only care about how much money they're going to make, and in fact, no one's going to notice it anyway. Now, you can still get the shots. You can still get the shots in minute clinics, and that's fine. But it's ridiculous. By the way, J&J responded. They said, "We remain committed in helping to end this deadly pandemic as quickly as possible. A single-shot vaccine that provides protection and prevents hospitalization and death is an important tool in the global fight against COVID-19. Evidence from our Phase 3 Ensemble study demonstrates the efficiency of the J&J single-shot COVID-19 vaccine, including against viral variants that are highly prevalent. Regardless of race, ethnicity, age, geographic location, and commodities, these results remain consistent." So basically, J&J is responding and saying, look, our vaccine works. Don't be a jerk. Anyway, we're going to be back in just a minute. Take a look at this commercial, and we'll talk to you then.
Okay, so you've thought about investing in real estate, houses, apartment buildings, properties, but don't really know where to start? Well, what if you could very easily learn how to gain strategies to use other people's money to buy and sell houses in the Philadelphia area? If you could learn and network with successful area real estate investors and how to produce monthly income on rental properties without headaches, that place is Investor Schooling. With Investor Schooling, you'll learn from 2 Philadelphia area rockstar real estate investors, Phil Felton Mel Cohn and Larry Steinhouse about how to buy and sell properties the easy way and teach you basic and advanced techniques to help you make money in real estate. You can attend investor schooling in person or online visual classes 8 times a month. You can and will learn how to make money in real estate. Call for free information and get a complimentary pass to one of these classes. But don't delay, as these complimentary passes are limited. Call the number on your screen now or visit investorschooling.com. Investor Schooling.
All right, welcome back to Money Chat Now. I am your host, Larry Steinhouse, and we were talking a little while ago, we were talking about the fact that the NASDAQ almost hit a record today, and that was on the heels of the S&P and the Dow hitting a record on Friday, and both of those pulled back a little. The Dow was down like 108 points. It was nothing, no big deal. We talked about the fact that the pandemic is still causing havoc. You know, it's just time to stop this nonsense already. We also talked about the fact that the J&J is no longer being, the CVS is no longer administering the J&J vaccine. That might be a play if you want to play that stock. It might be a play. I actually have it marked out for 175, and if it hits 175, I'd like to buy a put, and I'd play it down to 168. That would be my play on that. Let's talk about gold prices crashing. Oh my goodness, what the heck? So basically what happened was, I mean, by the way, so I don't even know if you know this, but gold suffered a flash crash overnight. Gold dropped overnight $60 or $60 an ounce, which is a lot and really fast. I mean, I was pretty excited that gold was over 1,800 for a little while again last week, and then it just dropped and it plummeted. Now, there's a couple of reasons that gold dropped. One is because basically what's happening again is we have the unemployment report, which was a good unemployment report. It basically said that most people are employed and there's still jobs out there and people are going back to work. And they're concerned that the Fed is going to pull back. They're basically going to pull back incentives, or they're going to pull back money, and they're going to make it, make it harder for people to get, I don't know, free money or whatever. So there may not be such a rush for people to put their money safely into gold. So people are saying, hey, why would I put my money into gold when I could put my money into other places? Now, I have another thought on this, and I'm going to get into that in a minute. But basically, again, it was all about gold prices. Gold prices went down basically because of, we had computerized selling, like stop outs, where people had stops on their gold and they sold it real quick. I think that's a mistake. I don't believe in stops because I believe that that's a big problem when you have stops. All right, let's talk about some of the big moves today. Tesla was a big move today. So Tesla's stock rose about 2% after Jefferies upgraded the company to buy from hold. The Wall Street firm said that Tesla was leading the way on earnings momentum and capital allocation. Jefferies hiked his price target to $850 from $700. Now, for a long time, I made fun of Tesla stock as an investment. Now, I don't understand. I mean, I'm not talking about it when it was 200 and you wrote it back up to 700. That was fantastic. But at 700, where it is now, that range, it makes it difficult to be a good play because the multiple, the price, the earnings per share was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous how high it was. At one point it was 1,100. It's calmed down to about 350 to 400 now, which makes this a possible play. I mean, if they could get their earnings up even higher and bring that number down below 100, Tesla's going to rock, and I wouldn't even be surprised if Tesla does another split if it hits 1,000 again. So there might be a play here. It's not really one of my favorites because I think it's very, very high. As you know, I'm a stock options trader, so Tesla's stock options are way too expensive for me, and there's too much risk in those stock option prices. But again, it's a lot of fun. It's a great stock. I think in the future it's going to have a run, but also going to have some major competition. I was reading some articles this weekend about the new electric cars. And not only does everybody have an electric car coming out, if you remember, Biden said that he wants to make 50% of the cars out there by 2030, which I find it hard to believe that could even happen, but he wants to make 50% of them electric vehicles, which is great. I mean, all of that is great. I just don't think it's going to happen by then, but a lot of competition. There's a lot of people out there competing in the electric car market, like Ford and GM and a bunch of other new people that we've never even heard of. We got Volvo, you got Audi. You've got sports cars coming out, sports car companies making electric cars. And the funny part is some of these electric cars, like Tesla and the Ford, will go to 0 to 60 in 4 seconds and they'll blow away any sports car out there that was gas anyway. I actually believe one of the biggest problems we're going to have with electric cars in the future is going to be being able to set up the charging stations fast enough. So if I'm going on a trip, and let's say it's a 500-mile trip, and my car only goes 200 miles or even 250 miles, I've got to recharge at least twice in order to get there. Now, right now, there aren't that many electric cars, so if I pull into one of those gas stations that have electric car chargers, the problem is it's going to take me a half an hour or so or more to charge up the car enough to get anywhere. It may not be enough to go finish my trip, but to get to the next charging station. But eventually, we're going to have 10, 20 cars lined up, and you're not going to be able to go on any long trips until the charging stations are built. And until then, it's not going to be a great idea. So let's talk about also another big move today was Coinbase. You know, I saw this. I didn't see it in time. It was like, I kind of like, I thought it was going to happen. And I made the mistake of hesitating on this one. I should have known better. When Bitcoin dropped, when Bitcoin dropped and when Ethereum dropped and everything dropped, everyone ran away from Coinbase thinking, hey, if we run away from Coinbase because we're scared of it, because, hey, people aren't buying Bitcoin anymore. No, people are still buying Bitcoin. They're still buying Ethereum. They're still buying all of the cryptos, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. And sure enough, what happens is when people are selling crypto or buying crypto, Coinbase makes money. Coinbase also has an earnings report coming up this week. I think it's this week or next week. And they're going to blow it out of the water because they're going to show everybody how much money this company really makes with people trading crypto. And it's going to be incredible. I predict that Coinbase will be way over 300 and we're never going to see it below 250 again. Unfortunately, I can't really play it that way because that's just speculation. And when I teach stock options trading, I don't teach speculation. I was looking for it to go below 2.25, and it didn't happen. And now it's just too late. I can't get in. All right, the other one is Robinhood stock for the same exact reason. Robinhood stock is going to be an awesome play. I'm looking for it, and I haven't seen it happen yet, but I'm looking for it to go in a range. I'd like to see it below 50 would be great for me. I'm waiting for it. Now, I bought it last week. I bought it at 36. I sold it at 72, and I was very happy about that. It's hovering in the 55 range. I'm almost at the point where I might say, hey, maybe we should buy this at 55 because I know this is going over 100 and it's going to happen soon. The question is how soon? Will it happen next month or will it happen next week? And I don't know. Will it hit 50 before it hits 100? I hope so because 50 is my buy price. So I'm just waiting. But sometimes I look at this and I go, look, I'm slightly 10% over my buy price. And I'm buying the stock. I'm not buying the option because the option is too expensive right now. So it might be a play for me to play it. It is what it is. And Robinhood, the same thing. We're talking about a meme stock, and we're talking about a company that makes money every time you trade your stocks, or actually when you hold your money, because they're actually not charging for trading. They're charging to hold your money, and every time you sell a stock, they hold your money. They make money on that. So it's a great business model. I'd like to see them make a couple of bucks on their trades. I think that would make it better. All right, we're going to go to another commercial, but let me tell you about this commercial. We have a contest going on where you could win my partner Phil Falcone's BMW. It's a BMW Z4. It's a great car, and it's a lot of fun. And we were actually talking about this the other day. We did an event the other day, and we were talking about this car the other day. You could win it, and look, you don't have to keep it. You can sell it. It's worth between $15,000 and $20,000. So if you win it, you can sell it. So if you go to winphilscar.com, and let's tell you all about it right now.
Hey, if you were listening to Investor Schooling Live today, I'm Phil Falcone, and I made the decision today on air that I'm going to be giving away this car. You want to take a look at it? Let's do it. How would you like to pop your top without ever getting out of the car? Huh? It's pretty cool. You can do it at a red light. You can do it when you see it rainy. You can actually even do it when you're driving, as long as you don't go maybe faster than 10 miles an hour. So I am giving away this car. Why? Is it because I'm crazy? Is it because I'm rich? Is it because of both? Take your pick. I don't care. Let me tell you about the car. We're going to have a contest. We're looking for real estate investors to go to our website and give us a real estate tip. And you can have people that you know vote on the site about which real estate tip is the most quality, most valuable to them. So let's just say that our contest is going to be looking for quality real estate tips and for votes. So you need to get your friends, your family, people who care about you, and real estate investors who are willing to go on the site and vote for it. And I will give you this car.
All right. Welcome back to Money Chat Now. I'm your host, Larry Steinhouse. Oh, I forgot to mention in the last segment that Moderna stock is up almost 100% this month. Oh, 100%. You think they're trying to beat out, they're trying to kick J&J out? We talked about that earlier. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. So J&J is being beat down while Moderna is being beat up. Oh, I wonder if any of the officials have some stock in Moderna or some interest in Moderna. Yeah, okay. So let's talk a little bit real quick about Bitcoin rallying. Hey, Bitcoin is kicking butt all of a sudden this week. Bitcoin right now is at 46. It almost hit 49 earlier, and Ethereum is at 31. So that's awesome. So that means that these things are playing out. Dogecoin, one of my favorites, and I don't even know why it's my favorite. It's my favorite because I think it's a cool name and it's a silly little thing, and that's what made it so good. Is back to where I bought it, which was 26 cents. So I'm actually feeling really great about that decision of buying Dogecoin. By the way, I'm not much of a crypto guy. I just have a little bit of crypto because I'm having a little bit of fun with it. I'm learning more and more about it, and more I learn about it, the more and more confused I get. Anyway, if you enjoyed this show, I'd like you to like and share. And I want to let you know that from time to time, I own some of the assets and options discussed on this show. The opinions discussed on this show are solely mine, and no one's asked me to discuss them. I want to thank you again for watching Money Chat Now. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to tell all your friends. This is a place that you could learn and make money right away by just watching this show. Once again, we're brought to you by Investor Schooling. Go to investorschooling.com and you can RSVP for a free class this Thursday. Take care.